dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Now it's truth or dare. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Now it's truth or dare. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare to speak the truth. Look, I dare.
Yo, what's good, world? Easily done. Back at you with another episode of Fanatics. Let's jump into college football, man. We gotta talk about. First of all, we talk about the first round of these playoffs. There's a lot of opinions. You know, the powers that be, the guys, the talking heads already got what their input, their criticism of the playoff format, and I can say I got my criticisms too, but listen, bottom line for me, I'm glad we're here in this time frame. We actually got playoffs, that we actually don't just pick 2 to 4 teams out of 130, 40 team pool of teams and vote that these 2 teams or 4 teams are the best in the country, that you actually let some guys play this shit out like you're supposed to. I mean, the criticism, because how the first round went, because it was a lot of dominating. It wasn't no close games. Let's just put it like that. Notre Dame, the game that I thought was going to be a good one, which was the Notre Dame-Indiana game, Notre Dame was dominant in their performance against Indiana. They dominated them. I mean, the score was closer than it appeared, because I did watch a good chunk of that. Notre Dame dominated that game. They were the better team from the beginning to end. But sometimes, too, you got to understand, Notre Dame had a tougher strength of schedule. Indiana is in the Big Ten, but they just didn't get tested enough to know how to perform in that situation, because they got behind, too far behind, and then by the time they woke up and started playing, adjusting their game plan, Notre Dame had a good lead, and Notre Dame defense is too good for you to just come back on them like that. Penn State SMU, another blowout. When I looked up, Penn State was up 21-0 in the first quarter. Your boy from Jennings, the SMU quarterback, threw 2 pick sixes in like the first 10 minutes of the game. But then Penn State got the ball and rolled down the field and scored. It was 21-0, like early in the second quarter. And Penn State too, like Notre Dame, has a great defense. Like, you're not finna walk that down on them. You gotta jump on teams that got good defenses like that. You gotta hit them with some haymakers and land them haymakers. But to come back when their momentum's going their way, their defense looked great. You know, SMU, and they're in the ACC. You know, but they lost 38-10. That was a straight massacre, straight just blowout. Clemson, Texas. That was a little bit of a better game, but Clemson still looked outmatched. Texas ran the ball for nearly 300 yards, man. Their running backs looked like NFL running backs all over the field. Clemson didn't even have a running game. Clemson was trying to piece together a running game. See, to me, that talent for talent, Clemson shouldn't have got blown out like that. Clemson recruits good year after year. There was no excuse, but they've been playing like that all year. That's why I knew Texas was going to win that game, because Clemson's coaching has been an issue. Dabo Swinney's a good coach, but he got to stop playing with this whole transfer portal thing, because it's for all the recruiting you do, the difference be y'all are too young. You needed some OGs out there. The transfer portal could have filled them holes for you. Y'all are too young. Well, it's like Clemson's not but freshmen and sophomores. All their best players are freshmen and sophomores. They're good. They're talented as fuck. They're going to be good next year. But you got to throw some portal guys in there. But that's been argued for them all season. That ain't got nothing to do with why they performed the way they performed in the playoff game, because they got there. They deserved to be there. They won the ACC championship game. You know what I mean? They beat SMU in the championship game. It went down to the wire. But hopefully that's a wake-up call for Clemson to know that, because teams like Texas and Georgia, who you'll see this week because they had a bye week, Oregon, they use a transfer portal, man, and that's why these boys are like, Oregon undefeated all season, but we'll talk about them later. But Texas just looked like the better team. I love that quarterback, Quinn Ewers. I think he's an interesting guy to talk about too, because there's a conversation about him entering the draft or staying another year in college. But if he stays another year, there's an issue because Texas has been waiting to play Arch Manning, which is Peyton and Eli's nephew. Yeah, like this kid is 5-star. They've been waiting to play him. He waited 2 seasons now. He about to be a junior. Yeah, he might have redshirted his freshman year, maybe. But he's draft eligible starting next season. After next season. You know what I'm saying? The kid want to play now. He been waiting long enough. Quinn staying gonna fuck that up. He talking about he'll transfer if Quinn stay. So Quinn stay, he might transfer because he knows the Arch Manning situation. Right now, they're trying to keep that whole thing under wraps because they're in the middle of the playoffs right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good problem to have your coach. It's a bad problem though. Both them boys leave. If each of them go, now Texas is day one. It don't make no sense to lose both of them. If I'm Texas, I'm pushing Quinn, man, go into the draft, bro. But I don't blame Quinn because it's not a guarantee you're gonna be a first rounder. Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward got that on lock. They're 1 and 2. Then you got Milroe coming out of Alabama. After that, there's not a lot of teams that need quarterbacks because we had a whole bunch of quarterbacks get drafted last year. All them teams that didn't perform well, they got a quarterback that they either got on the contract they're not gonna get rid of, or it's a dude they just drafted. Or already a franchise. Like it's not a big need for quarterbacks in this draft. So Quinn's in the middle of the road situation. Like somebody will draft him, but he might not be no first round guaranteed contract. But shit, next year you might not be neither, because now, like I said, Arch Manning gonna be in the draft next year. My man from Tennessee gonna be in that draft next year. I'm probably forgetting some guys on the top of my head. There's always somebody new, that's gonna be ready to go pro, bruh. So your boy from LSU, he's staying a year, and I know he was going to be in the argument of one of the top draft picks taken. And you got your this year he's supposed to go, my man from Georgia, but I think his draft stock going down. But that's another conversation too. So Quinn's in a certain situation, but as far as the Clemson Texas game, Texas looked like the better team. They won the game in the trenches. Clemson just wasn't heavy enough down there, and and I'll give Clemson the argument too. Their stud running back, this 230-pound man named Phil Maffa, 200 damn near 40 pounds. He's fucked up his shoulder like towards the end of the season, like way before even the ACC championship game. He didn't play good in that game either. I don't even think he played in this game with Clemson. I think he took a couple of carries. I seen he had a couple of carries, but he only had like 2, so I'm pretty sure he got hurt. But a team like Clemson, how y'all recruit, Texas displayed depth at running back. They had 3 different guys eat. 3. Clemson was trying to figure it out, and that don't make no sense for all the recruiting they do to not have some guys ready to come in and play. By the time they tried to do something with the run game, it was too late. Man, Texas had the game on lock, Their quarterback, I give them that, Klubnik. They've had a good tradition of quarterbacks in Texas. This kid, Klubnik looked like he's starting to look like an NFL quarterback. But it still remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? But Clemson won that game handily. And then the game that I was really shocked. I'm thinking this is going to be a battle because this is an SEC powerhouse, Tennessee, against the Big Ten power of Ohio State. Tennessee, same record, both of them 10-2. I'm like, okay, they finna battle out. Tennessee's got all type of NFL guys. They got top recruits in this draft. Top guys on me in this draft. You know what I mean? Their defense been great all season. But Ohio State beat the shit out of them boys. Beat the brakes off of them. I'm like, damn, I was really shocked to see Tennessee get whooped like that. This is the SEC team, you know. Big Ten looked it good. I ain't gonna lie. The way the Big Ten won with Penn State, Ohio State, man, they looked at like it made them better. We want to say they're the best conference in football. You know, SEC fans will never go to that. You know, it all depends on how this thing play out. Because you still got Texas and you still got Georgia in the playoff, but you know the Big Ten got 3 teams right now heading in it. So it's an interesting conversation. But 2 of them gonna play each other. So we'll see how that go. Yeah, but it was a blowout, 42-17. Ohio State smashed them. They looked at like, honestly, the way they won against a team like Tennessee, who I would have argued could have, you know, and here's another, like, it's like the Clemson thing. Their running back, stud running back too, Sampson. I think his name Ralph Sampson. I'm talking about, I know his last name is Sampson. First name might not be Ralph. The man had an outstanding season. One of the best running backs in the country. He got hurt like first quarter. And by the time Tennessee, they had some other running backs. They weren't like the Clemson situation. Just the backup, their listed backup didn't perform. When they went to their 3rd string, that nigga started playing, but it was too late. By then, man, Ohio State blew the game wide open. That this ballyhooed quarterback Tennessee got, he needs a running game to work. He's not ready. He's not there yet. It's unfortunate, man. You know, I grew up in Tennessee, and I'm not gonna say I'm a Tennessee fan, but I especially against my rival, you see it. You know, that's my team for real. I would love to see Tennessee won that game, but I do not want to see Ohio State win this national championship after we just won one. So I'm hoping somebody knock these boys off. But the way they looked against Tennessee, shit, they can win it all. Seriously. They got every phase of the game. They got a great defense. They got a running game. 2 very good running backs. Absolutely outstanding receiving core and a good quarterback. Like Ohio State they can win it. They can win the whole thing. Seriously, if they play like they're supposed to play, that freshman receiver Jeremiah Smith, this dude is a straight dog. He's an absolute gonna be a top 3 pick when he comes out. He ain't nothing but a freshman. There's no doubt about it. As long as he don't get hurt. Whenever he comes out, that boy is going to be snatched up in the NFL. This kid is he don't even look like a freshman. The man look like a senior. He look like a 25-year-old man out there, built, can run, got size, catches everything. Man, this dude is raw, bro. But let's talk about this round that's about to happen. This quarterfinals, right? Let's just jump right into it. Oregon, Ohio State. See, now... Okay, so before we get into the round, let's talk about all these blowouts. And now that, you know, the talking heads, the experts are complaining about the matchups and how they did it. First of all, I'm still happy we had a playoff. Y'all fucked up with the seeds. That was the fuck up. You know what I mean? Boise State, in my opinion, shouldn't have had a bye week. They're finna play this upcoming week. You know, the next round. Arizona State either, you know, Ohio State and Texas, Notre Dame. You could argue all of them you could have put any of them in that bye week, them bye weeks. But somebody would have had to stay down. You know what I mean? Somebody would have played somebody. It would have been a blow. It just happens. I mean, it happens in the NFL too. Teams go in there and get their ass beat. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You just, you know, got to work on your C's. You got to go with the best teams, like not just conference championships. Some conferences are better than others. This is what it is. SEC, Big Ten are the top 2 conferences. The number 2 team in the Big Ten, number 2 team in SEC, probably still the top 10 team in the country, top 5 even. You know, and don't punish them because they didn't win their conference championship when you knew they were the better team. You knew that. You know, Boise State is in a group of 5 conference. How did they got a bye week? Come on, man. I know they had a great season, but there's just no way that should have happened. There's no way. Arizona State, they're in a good conference. The Big 12 I think, was very competitive this year. But I just would have had to put in that bye week either Texas or Ohio State. Definitely. Or no, really Texas or Penn State. Penn State lost. They lost 2 games. One of them was in the conference championship game. There was a 1-score game. You know what I'm saying? You just want to see the powerhouses. You want to see these teams that you're kind of questioning about earn their way into that next round, and then we'll see. It still might have been blowouts though. So I'm like, that stuff that can get fixed. It's still gonna be that type of shit happen. Remember, just a couple of years ago, Georgia played TCU in the national championship and won the game 63-0, bro, in the national championship game. You're gonna have just mismatches. TCU beat my Michigan Wolverines to get there. I'm thinking we would be the best matchup to play Georgia because we played a style, physical, D-line, O-line type football. But we had a terrible game against TCU. They beat us. We threw pick sixes. We threw two of them. A lot of these dudes, that team went on the next year and won a national championship. You know what I mean? So, but that's the game of football. So it wasn't a great first round. But as a fan of the evolution of college football, I'm still glad to see it's a playoff. Okay, so what? First round was a bunch of blowouts. Let's get to this next round because we still got some rounds to go before we get to the national championship. We're down to 8 teams now. You know what I mean? Ohio State, Oregon, they went down to the wire the first time they played each other. Oregon is good, but they can be beat by this Ohio State team. That thing could have went either way. Even though Oregon could also won that game by a bigger margin too if it went for some calls. I watched that whole game. So, but that's gonna be a good ass game. And I know Ohio State's coming to play. I'm telling you that to beat a team twice is hard. But hey, Texas did it. I mean, Georgia did to Texas. That's another. Let's just skip to that. Let's skip to Georgia, who's another team that earned a bye week. They're playing Notre Dame. My only concern even though I like Georgia, is their quarterback out. But Georgia's one of them teams, they recruit well all the time. They've been recruiting well for the last 10 years. Kirby Smart doing a hell of a job over there. He's got a hell of a program going. He's won 2 national championships back-to-back even. You know what I mean? Got a whole bunch of guys in the NFL right now. So, he's going to recruit. Guys are going to want to play for him. He do got a new quarterback out there. We'll see how this dude plays because Notre Dame is a pretty good defense. And they got experienced quarterbacks. So, I think the quarterback change could help Notre Dame. But talent for talent, I think Georgia's a better team. Just because they're going to be better. I don't know, man. Notre Dame can win that. It can go either way. But because of the SEC, I'm going to go with Georgia. With the Oregon State, Ohio State, the Oregon-Ohio State game, I didn't never pick my team. I like Oregon. I know it's hard to beat a team twice, and maybe I'm just my Michigan bias. I just respect the team that's the only one that went undefeated. They're the only one that went undefeated. And they beat Penn State. You know what I mean? But Ohio State coming, bro. Like, that's going to be a battle. That Notre Dame, Georgia game going to be a battle. Ohio State, Oregon going to be a battle. Now, Texas, Arizona State. I ain't going to lie. I like Texas. I think Texas. Arizona State's had a great season, but this is their first time even in this type of setting, man. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember the last time I remember Arizona State been good, bro. So, I feel like, and Texas got a chip on their shoulder because they lost to Georgia twice. They were one of the top 5 teams all season. At one point, they were number 1 for a long time. It was them and Oregon, 1 and 2, like for a while. They got a chip on their shoulder. Arizona State not ready, but I salute Arizona State for getting this far. You never know. I might be wrong. They do got a hell of a running back, Scatterbull. That boy is a beast, straight horse. Straight, he's not big, but he's wide and tough. Had a monster season. Was one of the best running backs in the country. If he has a good game, they got a shot. Then you got Penn State and Boise State. Boise State got the best running back in the country. The man, you could have gave him the Heisman. But I just think Penn State gonna win this game because they're trenches. Their O-line, D-line is going to dominate. You know what I mean? If this man has a game of his life, really, both of these teams, Arizona State and Boise State, in the respective matchups, we know both of these guys got great running backs, right? The quarterback's got to have a good game. The running backs they're gonna do what they do, but the quarterback's got to play great. They got to play great. I'm talking about no mistakes. hit like 70% of their passes. You know what I mean? Make some plays, and they got a shot. Penn State, I still like them over Boise State, but I don't want to disrespect Boise State for the great season they had. Their only loss is to Oregon, but I just got to go with that powerhouse of Penn State. Even though Penn State's not known to win, they lose the big games. They're going to get to this next round. You know, they're going to see the winner of the Georgia-Notre Dame game. Then it's going to get interesting, and then we're down to the Final Four, and everybody earned their spot. So I'm just glad to see college football at this point, man. You know, it's just what we want to see. People are going to complain. That's what fans do, bro. They're going to complain. Talking heads, that's their job, to debate. Whatever something is, they're going to give you something else to talk about. What would they have to talk about if they just go with the flow all the time? They got to talk. That's their job, you know. But I still love it. And they're going to tweak it as long as you don't get rid of it. This is where we're at now. This is what college football needs, man. I'm telling you. It's like the greatest championship in sports is the men's and the women's basketball tournament, because it's 64 teams, single elimination, but the winner is no argument who the winner is. Like, there's no debate about who didn't play in it. It's unquestioned. That's why college football needed this, because there's always a debate when you just vote people in or who you didn't vote in. Like, even a team that didn't make it to the playoffs, we're not tripping about it, because they had a lot of losses. You got SEC teams that are complaining about, but you can't have all SEC in this shit, man. A conference champion deserved to be in there. The ACC had 2 really good teams. They deserve to be in there. They got their ass beat. Okay. You know, saying it could have happened to Bama, because Bama ain't looked good all year. Then that's what people want to cry about them being in there. They have not. They could have just as easily got their ass beat too. Just as easily. They have not looked great all season. I'm sorry. Knicks, they had to have some type of transition with this new coach. Nick not there no more. You don't get that Nick Saban love. He's not there no more. The same goes for Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss, they still got their coach, and they got a great team, but they took some losses they didn't have no business losing. They had a great team. They were great. You could have really easily put Ole Miss, South Carolina too, you know. But they had to draw the line somewhere. You had conference championships and other conferences, and teams like the Big Ten had literally 4 or 5 teams, 4 teams, I think, in the top 10. Like, they were like, man, we got to go with some of this Big Ten love. And 3 of them are still there, you know? SEC just do better. Because normally, the way y'all are, y'all going to get love in this. This is just a 1 year they kind of try to build up some other conferences so college football can get an even playing field, because it's in the new era, man. With the transfer portal, with NIL deals, you ain't going to see the same guys dominate as much anymore. Look at Clemson. Clemson needs to they used to run college football. They were right up there with Bama and Georgia. Right up. They were better than Georgia even. Georgia took their spot. Dabo got 2 championships just not too long ago. Was having all kind of guys go pro. They still, and all them guys doing their thing. But times have changed. The portal done changed things. You got to watch out for the Indianas now. Indiana going to use the portal to build a program. They're not going to wait on recruits to start wanting to come there. They're going to use the portal. Same thing as Colorado. Look how quickly Colorado went from one of the worst teams in college football to having a Heisman winner and going to have the number 1 pick. Won 9 games, could win their 10th one in their bowl game. Man, it's beautiful. We need this college football. We need this. It's just time for it. It's a game that is... I love the NFL, but let me tell you why I don't like the NFL. Just now, like watching my 49ers, watching Detroit Lions. These niggas got so many injuries, it's retarded. It's retarded. All these multimillionaires, but half of them don't play because they're hurt. College football, guys get hurt, but for some reason, it's that youth and the way college football built, that next man up is not as devastating when you lose a guy. Like Georgia, people really want to see how this kid gonna play that's taking the Beck spot, you know, Carson Beck. And Carson Beck's an NFL prospect, but his kid behind him was a 4-star recruit that he was probably gonna be the starter next year anyway. Let's see what he got. He might mess around, go out there, and he was the reason why they beat Texas the second time. He came in the game and had a game-winning drive. So it's a different. That's what I like about the college game. because it's a violent sport. And you hate to see teams be affected by the violence, the injuries. It just happens a lot in the NFL, bro. It was bad this year. A lot of teams had a lot of injuries. College football, we're not talking like that. There's guys that are hurt on these teams, but these guys, these powerhouse programs got guys ready to play behind them. So we'll see what happens. I'll let y'all know on the next, on one of these next episodes. We'll keep talking about it, all right? It's your boy Dunn, Fanatics. I'm out.